is SMNI News Channel. Truth that matters.
In the headlines, first officials of the World Health Organization arrives in Tenerife to oversee the MV Honduras disembarkation, rejecting alarmist COVID-19 comparisons and stressing the outbreak is tightly contained. In the United States, Pete Hegseth launches a task force to review discharges tied to the COVID-19 vaccine mandate, calling the previous policy wrongful and unlawful. In Eurasia Energy Deal, Vladimir Putin says key issues in the major oil and gas pact between Russia and China are nearly resolved. Russian President Vladimir Putin adds Iran has good reason to trust Russia, saying nuclear cooperation remains unaffected by geopolitical pressure. In Manila, President Santiago Peña Palacios begins a historic visit to Philippines, the first by a Paraguayan head of state. And in entertainment, English actor Larry Lamb says artificial intelligence won't replace human performers, stressing the irreplaceable human element in storytelling. I'm Andrea Santos. Newsline World starts now. First in our news, World Health Organization Director General Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus arrived in Tenerife on Sunday to personally oversee the disembarkation of the hantavirus-stricken MV Honduras, issuing a stern rebuke to alarmist comparisons to COVID-19 pandemic. The update from Almar Forzuelo.
Hazmat-clad teams and the Spanish Civil Guard supervised the staged evacuation of the MV Honduras on Sunday morning at the port of Grandilia under the watchful eye of WHO Director General Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus and Spanish Health Minister Monica Garcia. Nearly 150 passengers and crew began leaving the vessel that has been the center of a global health alert for over a week. Addressing the media against a backdrop of arriving ambulances and repatriation jets, Dr. Tedros emphasized that hantavirus, while deadly, is a well-understood pathogen with a low risk of widespread public transmission. He urged the international community to rely on scientific evidence rather than panic.
We have been repeating the same question, the same answer many times. This is not another COVID. And the risk to the public is low. So they shouldn't be scared and they shouldn't panic. This is based on how the virus is behaving now, because this virus is well known, and there are assessments that have been done. But not only that, this, for several years, there were assessments on the behavior of the virus. So that's why we say the risk is low. So I want them to really take that.
The operation, described by Spanish officials as unprecedented, involved 23 countries coordinating the safe return of their citizens. Spanish nationals were immediately transferred by motorcade to the Gomez Ulla Military Hospital in Madrid. Minister Garcia confirmed that while all current passengers are asymptomatic, they will undergo a double PCR testing protocol once upon arrival and again after 7 days of isolation.
Yo me he puesto en contacto con una de las pasajeras con la que ha estado haciendo de portavoz y de enlace. Le he dicho que bienvenida a España. Nos ha dicho que tienen muchísimas ganas de llegar y que están muy agradecidos. Y con respecto a los test, lo que se le ha hecho en el barco, como está así protocolizado, es los test epidemiológicos, ¿no? Las encuestas epidemiológicas en las cuales se ha asegurado que todos están asintomáticos. Cuando lleguen al Gomezulla es cuando se les realizará las diferentes pruebas de la PCR y que se les repetirá, en el caso del protocolo en el Gomezulla, a los 7 días. Y en función de si aparecen casos o no aparecen casos y si es positivo o es negativo, pues ya iremos tomando las diferentes vías del protocolo que están establecidas.
The outbreak, which began following a stop in Ushuaia, Argentina, on April 1 has now been linked to 8 cases, including 6 confirmed and 2 probable infections. 3 people have died, including a Dutch woman whose death in Johannesburg sparked a massive contact tracing effort in South Africa and St. Helena. Repatriation flights for the remaining 17 Americans and other foreign nationals are scheduled to continue through Monday, May 11. Authorities confirmed that MV Honduras will undergo deep cleaning and rodent disinfection at the dock once the final crew member disembarks, while the Andes strain of the virus is being monitored for potential human-to-human transmission. Officials in Tenerife say the solidarity of the Canarian people has ensured the mission's success without compromising local safety. Reporter for Newsline World, Almar Forzuelo, SMNI News.
As nations across the former Soviet Union observe the 81st anniversary of Victory Day, the streets of Beijing became a site of solemn remembrance. Hundreds of participants gathered at the Russian embassy for the annual Immortal Regiment March. Carlo de la Peña has the story.
For the first time in Beijing's history, the Flame of Memory, a spark taken from the tomb of the unknown soldier in Moscow, was delivered to the Russian Cultural Center. The initiative was led by former State Duma Deputy Maria Kozhevnikova, who serves as the ambassador for the campaign. The flame arrived just ahead of the Immortal Regiment March, where more than 800 people, including Russian expatriates, CIS nationals, and Chinese citizens, paraded with photographs of their relatives who served on the front line and in the rear during World War II.
Огонь памяти – это такая ниточка между нашим прошлым, настоящим и будущим. Если сотрут наше прошлое, то у нас не будет будущего. Поэтому мне кажется, что именно на наших плечах, вот на нашем поколении, которое еще имело возможность пообщаться со своими бабушками, дедушками, которые это прошли, например, мой герой Трофим Валентин Николаевич, мой дедушка. Мы даже написали книгу о его подвигах, о том, как он прошел эту войну.
The march inside the embassy grounds served as a rare moment of unity in a fractured geopolitical landscape. Many Chinese attendees noted that the victory of the Red Army in 1945 is inextricably linked to China's own liberation from Japanese occupation. Attendees said the march serves to preserve historical memory and honor the sacrifices of previous generations.
你们胜利二也是我们的胜利二，德国法西斯、日本法西斯。 什么意大利法西斯，他都是世界人民共同的敌人，是吧？祝贺你们啊！祝贺你们胜利二啊！胜利二！中俄两国人民友谊万岁！乌拉！
Ну, во-первых, она нас всех объединяет. Сейчас очень мало в мире того, что нас объединяет. Во-вторых, память, которую мы держим, это значит, мы чтим своих предков, мы их не забываем. И в разные ситуации в мире мы пытаемся не забыть то, что для нас важно.
Вся страна имеет кого-то, кто родственники, кого так или иначе участвовали в военной кампании, в войне, на фронте, в тылу. И каждый внес свою частичку в общую победу. И я считаю, что мы должны постараться через поколение передать эту память. Это ценно, это очень важно для нас, для всех.
As the commemorative flame finds a temporary home in the heart of the Chinese capital, organizers say the event remains a vital reminder of the cost of peace. Reporting for Newsline World, this has been Carlo de la Peña, SMNI News.
Meanwhile, the Mexican Navy Secretariat, or SEMAR, has intercepted a high-speed vessel carrying over 24 bundles of cocaine off the coast of Guerrero, marking a significant blow to Pacific smuggling routes. SEMAR units intercepted a vessel carrying 26 cocaine bundles. After high-speed chase in the Pacific, 361 nautical miles southwest of Acapulco, surface, air, and land forces secured the craft near Petatlan, arresting 2 foreign nationals. This video shows naval helicopters landing along the rugged Arroyo Seco coastline to airlift the seized cargo. The bust raises the weekly total to 89 drug bundles across 4 maritime operations as patrols intensify under the current administration. Authorities say more than 65.5 tons of narcotics have been seized at sea since Claudia Sheinbaum took office in October 2024. Despite tensions and the threat of fentanyl tariffs from the Donald Trump administration, Mexico says permanent maritime surveillance will continue. The suspects were transferred to the Attorney General's Office of Mexico for prosecution. Officials say the seizures are aimed at cutting off the financial power of criminal groups moving narcotics toward North America. Up next, President Vladimir Putin says key issues in a major oil and gas pact between Russia and China are nearly resolved. And in another news, President Putin adds Iran has good reason to trust Russia, saying nuclear cooperation remains unaffected by geopolitical pressure. More news when Newsline World returns.
Taon-taon, kwento sa bawat kwento, katotohanan sa bawat katotohanan. Mula pa sa pasimula, malinaw ang aming misyon. Magbigay ng tamang impormasyon. Maglantad ng katotohanan. Manindigan. Sa lahat ng oras, lalo na't kinakailangan. Hindi lang minsang kinilala, kundi muli at muli. Sa likod ng bawat pagkilala ay katotohanang naibahagi. Isang tinig na narinig. Isang katotohanang umabot sa bawat Pilipino. Sa kabila ng nagbabagong panahon, sa kabila ng mga pagsubok, nananatili ang aming paninindigan. Ang pundasyon namin ay katotohanan. Ang lakas namin ay tiwala ng mamamayang Pilipino sa loob at labas ng bansa. Maraming salamat po. SMNI, para sa Diyos at sa Pilipinas nating mahal.
Back, U.S. War Secretary Pete Hegseth is taking decisive steps to reverse Pentagon policies from the previous U.S. administration. Hegseth announced the establishment of a new task force dedicated to reviewing the cases of thousands of service members discharged for refusing the COVID-19 vaccine, calling the prior mandate of wrongful and unlawful. Paul Montebon has the news.
The U.S. Department of War is moving to reconcile with thousands of warriors of conscience. War Secretary Pete Hegseth announced the creation of the COVID-19 Reinstatement and Reconciliation Task Force, fulfilling a key campaign promise of the Trump administration to make right the discharges of service members who declined the vaccine. During a press briefing at the Pentagon, Hegseth took aim at 2021 mandate, arguing that the previous administration failed to honor medical and religious exemptions for what he described as an experimental vaccine.
Joe Biden's mandate to force military service members to take the COVID-19 vaccine was wrongfully and unlawfully applied, because the Biden Pentagon refused to grant exemptions for certain medical and faith reasons, not to mention it was an experimental vaccine. As a result, many service members and their families suffered severe hardship, and the department lost trust with the American people.
The task force will oversee the proactive review of personal records and facilitate discharge upgrades. Under the updated guidance, former service members now have until April 1, 2027 to apply for reinstatement. The War Department has reduced the required service commitment for returning members from 4 years to 2, while offering full back pay, rank restoration, and seniority for those who choose to rejoin.
Under the leadership of President Trump, The War Department is committed to doing everything we can to make it right, as you know. We want warriors of conscience, warriors who made a principled stand for truth. We want them back in our ranks as soon as possible. We are welcoming back to service patriots who refused the COVID-19 vaccine and were discharged for that reason.
The move marks a significant cultural and policy shift in the U.S. military as the Trump administration seeks to address a recruitment crisis by welcoming back experienced personnel who were separated during the pandemic era mandates. For God and my country, the Philippines, reporting for Newsline World, this has been Paul Montibon, SMNI News.
Meanwhile, an extratropical cyclone brought chaos to Argentina's Atlantic coast on Saturday, unleashing rare sea foam phenomena in Quezon and destructive surge in Mar del Plata. Faith Agustin reports.
The residents of Quezon awoke Saturday to a surreal landscape as a massive extratropical cyclone pushed a thick blanket of sea foam deep into the town streets. The phenomenon, caused by the churning of organic matter in the turbulent ocean, completely obscured the beach and coastal roads. However, the scene was far more violent further south in Mar del Plata, where the storm's low atmospheric pressure and high winds generated waves of a magnitude rarely seen by the local population. Civil defense officials in Mar del Plata were forced to seal off the main promenade as the sea began tossing 100-kilogram boulders onto the pedestrian walkway as if they were cardboard. Defensive perimeters were established by the Coast Guard as the surge reached lifeguard huts and tourist infrastructure, causing significant material damage.
Está rompiendo de manera considerable todo el sector de los molinos del Paseo Dávila y vemos que moviliza piedras que son de 80 a 100 kilos como si fueran de cartón. Eso es uno de los motivos por el cual cerramos el paseo. En principio lo habíamos cerrado 10:30 de la mañana para el paso vehicular, ahora ya está cortado totalmente al paso peatonal también. Pero bueno, es mayúsculo, es muy importante, el daño va a quedar, va a generar mucho.
The National Meteorological System had issued orange and yellow alerts across 13 provinces, including the Buenos Aires metropolitan area. In Mar del Plata, longtime residents and tourists alike gathered at a safe distance to witness the ocean's power. 78-year-old tourist Marisa Barrera described the sight as impressive, noting she had never seen a storm of this intensity in over 60 years of visiting the coast. While the cyclone caused widespread destruction to coastal avenues and trash was dragged inland by the tide, authorities confirmed that no fatalities have been reported. Preventive evacuations were carried out in the most vulnerable sectors of Buenos Aires province. Meteorologists expect conditions to improve by Monday as the system moves further out into the South Atlantic, though the economic recovery for the region's tourist infrastructure is expected to be lengthy. This has been Faith Agustin, your citizen correspondent, reporting for Newsline World.
President Vladimir Putin has announced a serious and very significant step forward in energy cooperation between Moscow and Beijing, signaling that nearly all key issues regarding a massive new oil and gas deal have been resolved. Vergil Parba has the story.
Russian President Vladimir Putin signaled that nearly all key issues regarding a massive new oil and gas deal between Moscow and Beijing have been resolved, further cementing Russia's strategic pivot toward Asian markets. The announcement came during a press conference in Moscow on Saturday, May 9, where President Putin highlighted the growing interdependence between the two superpowers. Beyond traditional hydrocarbons, Putin noted that the partnership is expanding into high-tech sectors, including nuclear energy and space exploration.
Вот сейчас не буду тоже пока говорить об этом, но в принципе мы в высокой степени находимся договоренности, потому чтобы сделать серьезный, очень существенный шаг вперед в сотрудничестве в газовой и нефтяной сфере. Серьезный. Ну, просто не буду забегать вперед, поэтому по этим вопросам. Я так вот вижу, мне докладывали мои коллеги. Практически все основные вопросы согласованы. И если удастся их доработать и поставить точку во время визита, я буду очень рад. Вот. А то, что Соединенные Штаты продолжают контакты с Китаем, ну что это очень важно. Это
The remarks followed an 81st Victory Day celebration in Moscow that was notably more restrained than in previous years. The iconic military parade on Red Square lasted only 45 minutes and did not feature a mobile military column, a decision the Kremlin attributed to security concerns and terrorist threats stemming from the ongoing conflict in Ukraine. As Moscow prepares for the next phase of its energy deal with Beijing, all eyes remain on the upcoming Xi-Trump summit in China this week, which could further shift the global economic balance. This has been Verhil Parba, your global citizen correspondent, reporting for Newsline World.
President Vladimir Putin has stated that Iran has good reason to trust Russia as a strategic partner, declaring that nuclear cooperation between the two nations remains immune to current geopolitical circumstances. With Kremlin is positioning itself as the indispensable mediator in the Middle East, Putin emphasized that Russia has never violated its agreements with Tehran, citing the operational Bushner nuclear power plant as proof of a successful long-term partnership. In a significant diplomatic overture, Putin reminded the international community that Russia previously stored Iran's enriched uranium in 2015. To facilitate the regional nuclear deal, he stated that Moscow is ready to repeat this experience to help stabilize the current crisis.
Иран доверяет нам в полном объеме и не без основания доверяет, потому что мы, во-первых, никогда не нарушали никаких договоренностей, во-вторых, мы продолжаем мирные ядерные программы в Иране, построили уже Бушер, который работает, и продолжаем строить. Мы же продолжаем работу. И наша работа по сотрудничеству в сфере мирного атома не подвержена текущей конъюнктуре.
While Iran responded with massive missile strikes in March, the April 8th ceasefire brokered by U.S. President Donald Trump has provided a slim window for diplomacy. Putin warned that any return to escalation would make everyone a loser. Putin also noted Russia's strong ties with Gulf Arab nations, suggesting that no major stakeholder in the region truly desires a return to open confrontation. He expressed hope for a quick resolution, though he declined to offer specifics on the ongoing negotiations in Islamabad.
Но нет уже заинтересованных лиц для продолжения этого противостояния. Конечно, мы понимаем, что договоренности должны быть достигнуты в интересах всех народов и всех государств этого региона. Есть разные варианты, мне бы не хотелось сейчас вдаваться в детали. Мы их представляем себе, какие они могли бы быть.
When we return, President Santiago Peña Palacios begins a historic visit to Philippines, the first by a Paraguayan head of state. And in entertainment, English actor Larry Lamb says artificial intelligence won't replace human performers, stressing the irreplaceable human element in storytelling. More news after the break.
Sa panahon ng ingay, sa panahon ng maraming tanong, panahon na para marinig ang katotohanan.
Sa totoo lang, ano ba talaga ang nangyayari sa ating bansa?
At sa totoo lang, handa ba tayong harapin ang katotohanan?
Sa totoo lang,
dito walang iwasan,
walang paligoy-ligoy,
diretsong usapan.
Sa totoo lang.
Sa SMNI.
historic milestone in diplomacy as the Philippines welcomes the first ever Paraguayan head of state to visit the country since ties were established over 60 years ago. President Santiago Peña Palacios arrived in Manila Sunday, marking a new chapter of cooperation between the two nations. Creselyn Catarong reports.
President Santiago Peña Palacios of the Republic of Paraguay arrived in the Philippines on Sunday for a 2-day official visit aimed at enhancing bilateral relations between the Philippines and Paraguay. The Paraguayan leader and his delegation arrived at Ninoy Aquino International Airport Terminal 1 at around 3:50 p.m. An arrival ceremony was conducted at Malacañang Palace where the national anthems of both countries were played, followed by a 21-gun salute rendered in honor of President Peña Palacios. Marcos Jr. warmly welcomed Peña as the Paraguayan leader officially began his official visit to the Philippines. The two leaders then held a bilateral meeting at Malacañang Palace. During the meeting, both leaders discussed areas of cooperation including trade, agriculture, investments, and people-to-people exchanges. President Peña Palacios is scheduled to depart the Philippines following the conclusion of his official engagements. Peña Palacios assumed office in August 2023 and became one of Paraguay's youngest leaders in modern history. Malacañang said the visit marks a historic milestone as President Peña Palacios is the first Paraguayan head of state to visit the Philippines since diplomatic relations between the two nations were established on December 12, 1962. Reporting for Newsline World, this has been Creselyn Catarong, SMNI News.
The Asian Society for Regenerative Medicine, or ASRM, led the third live cell therapy hands-on workshop in Quezon City, where local and international doctors gathered to study the latest developments in stem cell therapy and regenerative medicine. Daniela Paulite for the details.
The workshop in Quezon City served as an intensive training ground for physicians looking to integrate next-generation medicine into their clinical practice. In an interview, Dr. Rowena Aguilar Joven explained that the goal of the Asian Society for Regenerative Medicine, or ASRM, is to train doctors in modern regenerative medicine procedures. This includes stem cell therapy, NK cell therapy, hormone optimization, and other advanced treatments aimed at improving patient care. According to the doctor, it is important for Filipino doctors to learn directly from international experts so they can bring this knowledge back to the country and apply safer and more effective treatments.
Ang gusto pong handa po ng ating society is to equip all our Filipino doctors to be internationally active. At the same time, mas magkaroon tayo na expansion on our knowledge regarding our regenerative medicine, longevity, hormonal therapy or hormonal optimization, as well as cellular treatments. So yun po yung mga tina-target talaga nung society na to.
During the workshop, participants were given actual demonstrations on different procedures, such as harvesting stem cells from fat tissue, processing them, and using NK cell therapy. The applications of these treatments for joint pain, anti-aging, aesthetics, and wellness were also presented. Dr. Joven emphasized that the workshop goes beyond theory because doctors are able to witness every step of the medical procedures firsthand.
They will also learn how to do the fat harvesting as well as the processing, the preparation of the fats, and also on how to use it. Kasi ginagamit na natin yung mga fats na yon ng mga ating mga pang-pain, yun sa mga articulars. So ginagamitan natin for that pain. At the same time, for yun nga, hormonal therapy and also anti-aging and aesthetics. We're also using that.
The workshop was held at the Dr. Chio Ambulatory Surgical Center because of its complete facilities for minor surgical and regenerative procedures. According to ASRM, this kind of clinical environment is important for doctors to learn more effectively in an actual medical setting. Dr. Rowena also assured that this will not be the last workshop, as the organization is already preparing more training sessions.
Yes, definitely. We have upcoming July. So we also have this another workshop, but this will focus more on the stem cell in gynecology. So it is how we use the stem cell itself to know or to give a good wellness on the health problem of all our women out there.
ASRM assured that through this continuous training, the knowledge of local doctors will further expand, directly contributing to the improvement of medical service quality in the country. By fostering a community of highly skilled practitioners, the society aims to make the Philippines a premier destination for safe and regulated regenerative healthcare. Reporting for Newsline World, Danielle Paulita, SMNI News.
Latest sports, Britain's Adam Yates has withdrawn from the Giro d'Italia after suffering concussion symptoms following a major crash during Stage 2 in Bulgaria. Meanwhile, the People's Republic of China dominated the ITTF World Team Championship after defeating Japan in both women's and men's finals in London. Carlo De La Peña reports.
The 33-year-old British rider who entered the Giro as one of the contenders for the overall title crashed heavily into a barrier during a wet descent in a multi-rider incident involving around 30 cyclists. Yates still finished the stage but lost more than 14 minutes to the leaders before UAE Team Emirates XRG later confirmed he developed delayed concussion symptoms and would not continue in the race. The crash also injured two of his teammates, with Australian rider Jay Vine suffering a concussion and elbow fracture, while Spain's Marc Soler sustained a pelvic fracture. Meanwhile, Francis Paul Manier captured victory in the stage 3 after edging a dramatic sprint finish in Sofia to retain the points leader's jersey. Uruguay's Guillermo Thomas Silva remained in control of the overall lead, while top favorite Jonas Vingegaard safely stayed among the main contenders heading into the next stage. Meanwhile, China's women's team entered the final looking to extend its dominance against a longtime rival Japan, with the two nations having faced each other in every women's gold medal match since 2014. The Chinese squad successfully defended its crown after rallying from a 2-1 deficit, with Wang Manyu defeating Hayata Hina in a deciding rubber to secure a record-extending 24th World Team title. Olympic gold medalist Sun Ying-sha also played a key role after overpowering Harimoto Miwa in straight games to force the winner-take-all match. In the men's final, China continued its dominance by sweeping Japan 3-0 to capture its 12th straight World Team Championship and 24th Sweatling Cup overall. Liang Jingkun overcame a 2-set deficit against Harimoto Tomokazu in the opening match before Wang Chuqin and Ling Shidong completed the title-clinching victories. The sweep marked China's 7th consecutive clean sweep for both the men's and women's team championships at the ITTF World Team Championships. Reporting for Newsline World, this has been Carlo De La Peña bringing you the latest sports news.
Two hit television programs emerged as major winners at the BAFTA Television Awards. Meanwhile, British actor Larry Lamb says he does not believe artificial intelligence will replace talented performers in the entertainment industry. Daniela Paulite has the latest buzz.
The two record-breaking shows, Celebrity Traitors and Adolescents, secured some of the night's biggest honors, highlighting their popularity with both audiences and critics. Celebrity Traitors won the Reality Program Award and Memorable Moment Award, while Adolescents dominated the ceremony with wins for Limited Drama, Leading Actor, Supporting Actor, and Supporting Actress. Stars, producers, and industry figures gathered for the annual ceremony, celebrating excellence in British television. The awards reflected another strong year for UK television productions, with streaming and traditional broadcasters both represented among the winners. Speaking about the growing use of AI in Hollywood, Larry Lamb dismissed concerns that the technology could overtake human actors, calling it artificial stupidity. Debate surrounding artificial intelligence has intensified in recent years, especially after major strikes in 2023 disrupted the entertainment industry over concerns about the technology's impact on jobs and creative rights. Actors and writers previously voiced fears that AI-generated performances and scripts could reduce opportunities for human creatives. Despite ongoing concerns in Hollywood, Lamb insisted that genuine talent and human creativity will remain at the heart of acting and storytelling. Reporting for Newsline World, Daniela Paulita, SMNI News.
And before we end, may you be inspired with the words of the sun. Nobody can stop me from preaching peace. Even the warmongers of the world cannot stop me. And that's all for this edition of Newsline World. For God and my beloved country, the Philippines, I'm Andrea Santos. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.
This is SMNI News Channel. Truth that matters.